So Fallout 76 just received one of its biggest updates yet, fixing over 150 bug fixes, featuring a few new additions, some nerfs, some buffs, and even more. We're going to be covering some of the main additions with this update, then at the end of the video I'll also be going over some general channel related stuff as well. And as always with these type of videos, if you do want to check out the patch notes for yourselves, they will be linked in the description below. But with all that being said, let's jump straight into it. So starting off with the file size, which on the console is a whopping 4 GB in size, and on the PC it's 500 MB. Just to mention this as well, I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning, but the update itself is live right now on PC. I believe it was released sometime yesterday, and for the console versions they've stated that it will be available sometime next week, in which I presume it's going to be on Monday. But anyway, getting back into this and going over some of the big changes here. Starting off, we have the legendary hunting rifles that will now drop as loot. Now this is a big one for me. They are now adding the hunting rifles to the legendary spawn pools now. You know, when I first started playing this game, I started off as a melee and sniper build, and I truly love sniping on the game. But as time goes on, as you level up and progress, and you come to find out that there wasn't any legendary hunting rifles at all, it kind of strays you away from using them. So I'm very glad now we'll be finding those 2-shot hunting rifles, those explosive hunting rifles now hopefully, and that in general is a great addition. Another good addition is the bobby pins. They've now reduced the weight value of those from 0.1 to 0.001. Some other fixes that are good in my opinion is the Gauss rifle and the M79 grenade launcher are now properly considered their weapon type. The Gauss rifle is now identified as a rifle, whereas it never used to be and wasn't affected by the rifle related perks. Now it is, which is good. And same thing for the M79 grenade launcher. For some odd reason, the game registered that as a shotgun. So the shotgun perk cards would actually be applied to the grenade launcher, which actually buffed it up quite a bit as well. But they've now put a fix to that. In addition to this, some other good changes is the overall repair costs have been lowered for weapons and armor. This is great in my opinion. Although there is slight confusion on the patch notes here, they've actually put this there twice. Once stating that, you know, the overall repair costs have been lowered, and then they have another one on there which says that the component quantities required to repair mid to high level weapons and armor only are reduced by up to 20%. The dev note there stating that the repair costs scale with level and that there is room to reduce costs at higher levels. I'm not sure if that means if you're a really high level, it would actually take more to repair it now. I will have to go into game and fully test things out for myself, and I'll have to get back to you guys in another updated video sometime in the future on that. But a little bit of confusion there. Anyway, moving on again, the hardened mass, this is a big one, will no longer be scrapped when you scrap all of your junk at the same time. I have done this countless times, just not thinking. I've just returned to my base after, you know, farming the nuke zones, and I scrap all of my junk and all my hardened mass is gone when I actually set out to collect a lot of it in the process of me farming the nuke zones. I know a lot of people complained about that one, and it is good that they are now fixing it. In addition to some of the buffs and good additions, they've also nerfed quite a few things as well. Number one is the glowing ones will no longer grant erroneous large amounts of experience. The dev note there states glowing ones were granting large boss XP rewards, making them highly exploitable when combined with nuke zones. Of course, they're referring to the White Springs Golf Club and Resort, being one of the best places to rank your character up, period. So you will now be noticing a pretty big drop off of experience when farming that location, but I'd still imagine that it's going to be a great location for getting XP regardless, just for the fact that there is just so many enemies that spawn here. Even if you lower their XP amounts, unless you're going to completely sink it into the ground, you know, it's still going to be good, just not as good as it was before. Moving on again, they've now fixed an issue where items could be duplicated, pretty much fixing the duplication glitch there. It's an issue they're going to have, you know, usually when they fix one duplication glitch, another one pops up a couple of days later, and they're going to keep patching them over and over again as time goes on. Moving on to some of the perk changes now, they've done quite a lot to the perks here. Starting off with the All Night Long perk. All Night Long now decreases hunger and thirst growth at night. For the Quack Surgeon perk, it no longer allows you to revive hostile players. For the next one, we have Strange in Numbers, in which the effects of this perk now scale properly with multiple teammates, with and without mutations. This is one of the best perks in the game, and it used to be really overpowered, and they kind of nerfed it, and then when they nerfed it a little bit, it kind of broke it. And it was kind of in a very buggy state. Sometimes it would be more than intended, and sometimes it would be less than intended. So, you know, it's good that they are now fixing that. For the Refractor perk, they fixed an error where each rank of Refractor is doubling your energy resistance instead of adding just plus 20 as indicated on the perk card description. For Fireproof, it now reduces the explosion and flame attack damage by 15% per rank. For Happy Camper, it now functions correctly whether the player is inside or outside of their camp. For the Butcher's Bounty, they've now fixed an issue that allowed for it to trigger again on an already searched creature. For the Homebody perk, it now works as intended when at a claimed public workshop. And then for the Party Boy / Girl perk, it now affects the active alcohol effects on the player. And that's pretty much it for the perk section. So moving back over to stability and performance and some miscellaneous kind of fixes, nerfs, buffs and more. Starting off here, they fixed an issue that allowed armor mods to reduce carry weight past intended values. They've also fixed a radiation bug where you could completely remove your radiation by dying over and over again. So now that's been patched and you won't be able to die repeatedly to remove your radiation. There's a couple of fixes to armor and power armor here. For one, this is actually a new addition, I guess, or a slight buff. The power armor light has been made slightly brighter. They've also fixed an issue that would cause players exiting power armor to sometimes appear stretched and also unable to re-enter their power armor. This is a very known sort of meme / bug in the game. I've seen so many different posts of people just showing their weird looking characters once this glitch has happened to them. So, you know, that's now been patched as well, or supposedly been patched. And the reason I say supposedly is because I have seen a few people posting that that stretched animation is still in the game at the moment. Not too sure if that's from a different glitch or what that's about. I've just seen a couple of posts about it. Another fix for the power armor is they have addressed several issues that would prevent players from exiting power armor and at times cause the Pip-Boy to become unavailable. And the last one for the armor section is that they fixed an issue where some pocketed chest pieces were resetting players back to their based carry weight upon logging back in to the game. Moving on to some more miscellaneous fixes, the lever action rifle now only reloads the correct number of ammo. And oh my god, the smallest things used to piss me off in this game, and that was one of them. I just hated the fact that every time you went to reload, it would basically have the animation of you reloading a full magazine into the weapon, and that was so annoying, so I'm glad they fixed that now. Another addition is that level 25 armor and above now requires ballistic fiber to craft, so they are ramping up the components needed for that a little bit, which, you know, is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. They've also fixed an issue that would cause robots to respawn too frequently in White Springs. If you guys haven't seen videos on this yet, basically you would have like so many robots spawning there. It was like an invasion, and it was absolutely crazy. It was causing FPS issues and a couple of other problems that they have now fixed by doing this. A change for the Xbox One only, and I assume this is a pretty good change as well. Blowing up the mainframe core stations in the silos would no longer cause a performance drop. I'm not too sure on how much of a performance drop that was, but hopefully it's a lot more smooth for those on Xbox now as well. For the PC, they've fixed an infinite loading screen that could occur when attempting to join a server on PC. I hate the infinite loading screens. It happens to me and my friends all the goddamn time, and I guarantee you, even though they've fixed this, infinite loading screens one way or another will probably make their way back into the game. For some general performance and crash issues, they've now fixed the crash that would occur when opening the Pip-Boy. For performance, they've improved client performance when viewing a nuke explode. They've also fixed an issue where reading a note would cause the background to freeze, and they've also increased performance in areas with a lot of scorched statues. And then for the final few patch notes that I am going to be mentioning in this video, they fixed an issue that would sometimes cause plasma weapons, flamers, flamer mods, and weapons with explosive bullet mods to not do damage to other players and creatures. And they've also made it so that the vampire weapon mod effect now only works when hitting living targets as intended. For those of you who don't know, I actually had a vampire's knife as well, and any vampire legendary effect that you had, essentially you could just like hit the air with it or knife or shoot, and it would just get your health up randomly when it's intended for you to actually hit a target first before you get that health regeneration. Moving on to the last two, we got fusion cores will no longer replenish to full charge upon joining another world. And then for trading, the caps limit for player-to-player trades has now been increased from 5,000 to 25,000. And that's pretty much it for the main portion of the patch notes. Again, this video isn't going to be covering every single one in detail. There's a couple of quest fixes here and there as well, and a couple of other miscellaneous fixes and changes. As always, if you do want to check out the patch notes, it will be linked in the description below for you guys. Anyway, as always, if you guys did enjoy this video today, be sure to leave a like down below. It's always appreciated on the channel. Let me know how you like the new intro as well. I used it in my last video, which was about 3 weeks ago, which I really want to apologize for as well, by the way. I just had to take a bit of a break and sort out some personal stuff, but I'm back now. There's going to be a couple more videos coming your way. We should have another one up either tomorrow or the day afterwards, and then another one the day after that as well. So stay tuned for that. I also have a Fallout animated short film coming out soon, towards the end of January. I'm also working with Deviant Picture Films on that. Going to be doing a little bit of voice work in there as well. So that's going to be some great content for you guys coming out soon. And other than that, hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.